What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Lennox Lewis. Big up England! He had this to say. He says, listen, if I beat any champ who has a rematch clause, I'm not giving them the lion's share of the rematch. You know, when I criticized Hearn and AJ in 2018, there was no split offer on the table, which is why I criticized them. Okay. Now, counterpunch in the first tweet, he was referring to Dillian Whyte's offer from Anthony Joshua, where if Dillian Whyte won in the rematch, Anthony Joshua would get a lion's share of the money. You know what I mean? Still. But it was rebutted that if he won, he would get 50-50. And Dillian Whyte won at 60-40. So that's the reason why Dillian Whyte didn't sign the contract. And he made perfect sense with that. I wouldn't have done that either. Why would you then give me 50-50 or whatever? I want 60-40 especially if I beat you, because I'm signing to fight you for a small amount of money. I think 4 or 5 million pounds, right? Well, if I beat you, then I'm the man now. I have all the belts. Because, see, that's the same thing that you're selling to me. Hey, I'm the champ. I have all the belts. That's why I get the lion's share of the money. Well, if I beat you, I have the belts now, and I should get all the lion's share of the money. That just makes totally perfect sense. So I do agree with Lennox Lewis on that note, because Dillian Whyte knows the ins and outs. He's not an idiot. You know what I mean? And look what he's doing now. He's moved on to make his own legacy over on ESPN, to make his cash, to make his cheddar. You know what I mean? Signing that deal. So, yeah, it makes sense on that. Now when he said, when I criticized Hearn and AJ in 2018, there was no split offer on the table, which is why I criticized them. Well, let me counterpunch that. That I don't agree with. Because now you're dealing with a fighter that had one belt. Sure, he was a champion, right? But at the end of the day, you got a champion that was really unknown. He's a champion with a lot of crutches. He's a champ. Deontay Wilder was a champion with handicaps. He still does. You know what I'm saying? Because he's that kind of guy that people didn't know who he was. Because he didn't fight anyone. To encourage people, to notify people who he was. He didn't make that much money a fight. That's for one, because no one knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for a network to give this guy a large chunk of money to back their American fighter when their American fighter is little known. You know what I mean? And that's no hate towards Deontay Wilder. That's just the truth. Now he comes in fighting a guy that's been building these damn things, doing a Thanos like attempt and challenging all these guys and getting these belts that been there half the time. You know what I mean? No, motherfucker, I got these belts. I'm not going to give you 50-50. What are you, crazy? No. How about 20-80? Because that, if you looked at that 20, if it was going to be a split offer, you know what I mean? Because that's what they were referring to. And if it was a split, it was going to be a real small one, like 20%. You know what I mean? Give this guy $12 million. He turned that down. Okay? He turned that $12 million down. So it's like, okay. But your last fight was 2.5. So basically you were trying to bank on the strength of a fight with a guy that makes that a type of money anyway. So he wasn't basing the value on you. You were basing the value on the strength upon fighting someone else. You know what I mean? So that's bad. So it is what it is. But, they pretend like no one's done that. No one ever done that in the past. You know what I mean? Look at Oscar De La Hoya with Golden Boy with Canelo versus Triple G. They offered Triple G a bulk of the money. He didn't take it. But Triple G wasn't Deontay Wilder. Triple G had already been in a pay-per-view with Lemieux. People forget that. The numbers didn't do too good. But he was the champ. But he had all the belts. He was the one known. Triple G had a following, mind you. Okay, he sold out Madison Square Garden. People forget this. Now they offer him that amount. Now I'd be more. I would contest that. That notion that De La Hoya would offer Triple G that one-sided deal versus Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder, nobody knew him. He didn't do what Triple G's done. So you can't really compare that. And a lot of people that are his fans, of course, they would think that, because they're fans of Deontay. They are the only ones on a little planet, a small little island, that know who he was and rooting for Wilder. Wilder Bomb Squad. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he wasn't known. You know, he wasn't trying to travel. And that was another problem. Like, dude, you ain't trying to travel? Now you trying to jump in the ring like it's WWE? No, you got to sign a contract before you do any of that shit. Klitschko did get in the ring with Anthony Joshua because he signed the contract. That was the only reason. You know what I mean? The fight was, okay, you signed a contract, we own. Let's promote this thing. Let's make it the best and biggest fight possible. But Deontay Wilder wanted to jump in there like he did, or like Tyson Fury did with him. You know, and look how long that took. That wasn't the strength of that fight happening. A lot of people think, oh, that seed was planted. No, Tyson Fury admitted he was high. He got in there because he was high. He was drunk. You know? He was, I'll fight you anytime, anywhere, you big dosser, you bum. What do you say about that, Deontay? You know? Yeah, he was high. He told everybody he was high, and that was when he was going through his shit. But no, I don't agree with that with Lennox Lewis because of that fact. Because the split really wasn't warranted at that time for Deontay. Deontay should have took that money, just like the same guy that's writing that tweet, Lennox Lewis. He did that shit with Holyfield. I got to add that. I must address that. He was the same guy that took $10 million to fight Evander Holyfield the first time. But then I guess he realized that. Then he made a tweet. Well, it's not how I did things in my era. Well, shut up. It's not your era then. You know what I mean? We can squash this whole thing. Just shut your mouth. Right? But everybody has an opinion. So, but I think he mentioned that because he knew he took that money. He knew he took that dive because he believed in himself. And it paid out. You know, Deontay, obviously, him or his team didn't believe that they can beat Anthony Joshua right away like that in England. They didn't believe that. So that's why it didn't happen. So anyway, Lennox Lewis, his comments, his tweets concerning those, 50-50, you know. Yeah, I believe that Dillian Whyte shouldn't have took that money because that was a bullshit deal that they were offering. But I do believe that Deontay Wilder should have. And that's why he criticized him, but I wouldn't have criticized him for that. I think that was a good amount of money for Deontay Wilder because he made more money than any of the other champions. Charles Martin got about $8 million to fight Joshua, right? So they gave him 12. Now it would be different if it was $8 million, right? Because Deontay Wilder is definitely known more than Charles Martin was. You know what I mean? Because Charles Martin just picked up the belt off a damn technicality. He didn't even beat anyone for it. You know, he just got his ass in the ring, you know, and witnessed another guy have an injury. Okay. So, yeah. But no, he got more than Parker. He got more than Charles Martin. You know what I mean? I think he thinks he's more than what he's worth. And that's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.